Hello everyone and welcome to the preview video for the 82nd Airborne. Finally, LANNES is in reach. This obviously is still an alpha build, but it should be at least pretty close to what we get in LANNES update, which hopefully can hit next week. And yeah, till then, the waiting, so that the waiting isn't quite as long for you guys. Bit of and look on to what we will get with the patch, starting with the lovely Sheridans and being continued with a lot more stuff. So yeah, first video, 82nd Airborne. Then tomorrow I will upload a video about the Soviet division, the 35th Guards Air Assault Brigade. And then on Sunday I will make a third video about all the other changes coming with the patch. So yeah, let's go through this division tab by tab and start over at logistics. So in the logistics tab, as you can see, we already have a new unit in form of a supply Chinook, the CH-47C. As always, everything here can change, alpha build and so on, but the Chinook, 3 per card, you get 2 cards, 2,500 points for 125 points. Doesn't sound too bad actually. It sounds like a one you might maybe consider taking, but currently the M35s just feel still too good to not just take them. Supply helicopters have similar issues as most helicopters, that just take a bit too long for landing and starting in general and so on. So yeah, not the biggest fan. Other than that, you have the AB Humvee. Yes, Humvees are around. Humvees are around a lot in this. You can see they have a little parachute under their symbol, means that they can be forward deployed. That's why they cost 5 points more than other truck or jeeps or trucks, so that because they can be forwardly deployed. Then the M577 CPC as an armored CV, and then a helicopter CV with currently quite generous availability. Not sure if this will stay this way, but if so, this card is for sure must take. 6 cards of these at 100 points sounds really good. Yeah, this is the logistics tab. Infantry tab, obviously, it's an airborne division, brings you a lot of airborne forces. Even the military police in here is airborne, and they can be forward deployed. Other than that, they're your classic military police, but they come in the Humvee as well. So that's a nice part. Then your airborne leaders, which are pretty good, come with an 84, are 12-man squadron, come in a big truck, and can be forward deployed. AB Fire Team 84, as the name says, an 84, come in a Humvee. Other than that, 5-man squadron. Then the Airborne Fire Team Dragon has the Dragon, so same job there. 9 availability. M249 as the LMG. And then the Airborne Dragon come with 2 M249 and are a 10-man squadron and have a Dragon. The normal Airborne, though, come with M60s and an 84. So there is a bit of a variety here in the loadout. And yeah, M35s as transport for all of these. The bigger ones and the smaller squadrons come in Humvees. Airborne engineers, you get 2 cards here. You don't have any flamethrower options in this deck. These are your CQC options, obviously, with M60 and 9 M16s. They are your pre-standard engineers, other than that they can forward deploy. The engineer leaders, similar thing, just the airborne version. Air rifles in this deck can not only come in the Blackhawk, but also in the Chinooks. So that's pretty nice. This especially the Chinooks are also a bit cheaper, whilst having the exact same speed, because they don't have the 2 MGs. Overall, Blackhawk feels a bit overpriced in most decks, though currently with air rifles dropping out of the sky without taking any damage when the helicopter goes down, that still might not be too bad. but hopefully when that changes, the Black Hawk price also changes, so that they don't, otherwise they will be useless at that point. Airborne gunners, really good. 3 M60s, or deployable, same as normal gunners, only 7 strength, but good to hold positions. And then you still have some mech rifles if you want. You can't bring them in well, like, yeah, you can bring them in M113s and M35s, mech rifle leaders as well. One with the dragon here as well. And then airborne TOW2s, which can be forward deployed, which is pretty dang good, as the TOW2 is still really amazing. Still has its really high level of accuracy, so I'm not sure if that's supposed to change, but in the current build it hasn't, so it's really dang scary. And you have a lot of slots to fill, so you have 2 cards of these, so you might even take both of these if you're knowing that you're up against a tank division or on an open map. But overall, a pretty good infantry tab with a lot of variety and obviously a lot of slots to fill. Airborne leaders are good, a lot of AT4s, and yeah, the forward deployment obviously is the big strength as well. Artillery also brings you some forward deployable mortars. Mortars teams are a new thing here. Towed weapon systems are in. This is the first one we see. Second one will follow in a second. So 25 points, 107mm mortars, so similar, or I guess not, but yeah, we have them on tracks as well in an M125, but this one is not it. This one is an 81mm mortar. And then the M102mm, M102 105mm howitzer that can come in the Chinook transport actually, which is kind of fancy. I'm not sure how useful this is currently, but it's pretty cool. And yeah, these come with solid range, solid damage, and really good availability. So if you want to create a battery of guns, these might be a good start. Can bring them obviously also in the truck or towed from a truck, which you can attach them again to get to another position. They are pretty cool and yeah, pretty decent. And then you have some M109s if you still want to have some self-propelled artillery pieces. Tank tab, obviously rather limited, but you still get some cool stuff here. The Humvees with TOW 2 is one of them. Seems a bit cheap at 60 points. That might still be changing, but good stealth, good speed, and the best ATGM, ground ATGM in the game. So that's really nice. The TOW 2 always amazing. And as you get them with free veterancy also, this is a really, really strong unit. Then the Sheridans, 14 penetration, really good HE as it's a 152mm gun, but obviously it's a light tank. It only has 2 frontal armor, 2 side armor, 2 rear armor. You don't want to get hit in this thing, but if you can hit the enemy, you leave some wounds. The Shilak, also the first ATGM fired by a NATO tank, so that's pretty nice as well. And a nice 50 cal on top, which helps out as well. And then another new version of the Abrams, the M1 LP or IP, I'm not 100% sure. Not knowing my designations of American tanks too well in the Cold War scenarios. But it's a pretty decent tank. Availability pattern is sadly also not amazing, but it's still okay. Here it's not that great. I would recommend taking the Sheridan on 2-star veterancy. Here it depends on how many you want. 17 penetration, 17 frontal armor. Other than that, 65% accuracy on the base stats. And yeah, the classic weapon systems, you know, from other Abrams here with the 50 cal and 2 M240 MGs. So pretty decent tank. 200 points, puts it currently on line with the T80B. Though tank prices might still be subject to change. So yeah, it's for sure quite a solid tank. Good range and so on. So looking forward to use these as well. Gives you a bit of an armored capabilities that you otherwise don't have. Though obviously you don't get too many of these. You should still not try to go toe-to-toe with enemy armored divisions in this regard. Recon tab gets you more Humvees, Recon Humvee with 50 cal and Recon Humvee with a grenade launcher. Both pretty decent. Similar range on ground targets. And then this one can also fire at helicopters, but this one obviously is supposed to deal more damage against infantry and co. Airborne scouts with 84s that also come in the Humvee. Pretty good unit. LRS, 2 cards of LRS. So this is really nice, as LRS are quite good units. Really, really strong stuff. And then scouts, OH-58 scouts, 2 cards of Bradleys and Kiovas. So you have a lot of options here. I like the Humvees quite a bit, especially the one with the grenade launcher. And yeah, the LRS are always amazing. And then some Bradleys from a couple more TOW2s or maybe a Kiova can be pretty nice as well. AA-wise, we have some cool new stuff here as well, including some more towed equipment. And yeah, Stingers now have only 50% accuracy, which is really good. They were heavily overperforming before at 70%. 50 might be a bit low, actually, but yeah, like maybe 55% would be the sweet spot, but we have to test them more. It's just for sure that they were super broken at 70%, so nerfing them was for sure warranted. And yeah, let's see if we hit the sweet spot here or if there needs to be more adjustment from Eugen's side on it. But yeah, next unit is one of the cool new stuff, the Vulcan 20mm. And it's basically the pivot, but without any self-propel features. So you have to carry it around, either being attached to a Humvee or let the guys push it around if you want to give them a bit of a exercise day. But it's obviously not that fast. It's radar guided, so it can be hit by seed. So you have to be careful. You should put them on a hotkey so you can turn them off if any of those planes come up. And then the other great cool new AA unit is the M998 Avenger with 8 Stingers and a 50 cal that you can see over here on this really futuristic looking unit that looks like it fits better into a Command & Conquer game, I think, than into a real Cold War scenario. But I'm happy it's here. I'm not so sure about its forward deployable abilities. Like, forward deployment for AA still feels like a mistake to me, but we will see how that works out. It can be forward deployed at the moment, so yeah. Should be quite interesting. Has the same 50% accuracy as other Stingers by now. And yeah, is a really good vehicle. Like, 100 points, maybe a bit expensive, but the 50 cal is nice. Helps you against helicopters if you get in range. Can help out against some infantry as well. So, yeah, pretty cool unit. And then the OH we already know with 4 Stingers. And then we have another helicopter with 4 Stingers. That also brings a 20mm and at least a couple of Hydras to the action, which might be enough to kill half an infantry squad, or maybe even a full infantry squad if you're lucky. And they come with good availability, the AH-1F ATAS, so nothing to sneeze at here either. So interesting anti-air tab, no long-range capabilities, unlike other divisions. For example, there's a new long-range AA for the 8th Infantry that we will go over in the 3rd video of this series, so stay tuned for Sunday. But you still have really solid short-range options with the Vulcans, with the Stingers, with the ATAS that also can help you out stopping enemy helicopter rushes and so on. So, pretty nice setup. Helicopter-wise, you also can be the helicopter rusher. Transition king here. As you have a good amount of helicopter slots and a lot of nice choices. Starting with the AH-6C Little Bird. 6 per card, so the first helicopter to ever reach that amount. And it comes with a with 2 miniguns, sorry, and 14 Hydra rockets. So a couple of them can for sure start to mow down infantry left, right, and center. And you can follow that up with even bigger rockets, if you think size matters, in form of the AH-1F Heavy Hawk with Zuni 127mm rockets. Really strong rockets, but you only have 16 of them, so they run out really quickly. So this thing is back to the supply depot time and again. That's the reason why it's only costing 70 points. Hits really hard, needs to go home. Hits really hard, needs to go home. But for the hitting hard part, it's pretty useful. So yeah, other than that, the 2 Cobra versions we already know, and the 3 Apache versions we already know. But they are all having their right to be there. You don't get quite as many Apaches as you got in 3rd US Armored, but you still can mix them in here and have a nice helicopter tab like this, for example. And then you obviously also have these guys over here, so in general you can get a lot of helicopters here. In the air tab, we don't get any new airplane models, but we get a couple new loadouts. For example, the F-16C with napalm. 2 500kg napalm bombs, so pretty big napalm. And the F-16C HE with 6 227kg bombs. And then a rocket A-10. And the A-10 now is really, really deadly because the Gauf 8 Avenger gun is an absolute beast now. So these things are scary. So yes, it costs 220 points, but if it gets through, it can shred stuff left, right, and center now. So in general, a really cool deck. Obviously, tank is not your strength, but it's still somewhat decent. Better than its Soviet's counterpart, for example. And yeah, good recon, great infantry, especially thanks to the forward deployment and so on. Helicopter tab has a lot of good options. AA tab is unique and interesting. Not great, I would say, but you can work with it. And if you need to shoot down planes really badly, you have an F-15C Eagle in here. So yeah, what do you think about this 82nd Airborne? Let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing so you see the next one. And yeah, check out the other 2 videos of the series about the LANNES upcoming patch in the next couple of days. And yeah, see you around and have a nice weekend. And hopefully we will have all the stuff to play with together next week. Bye bye.